Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome back to the English Right Now podcast with me, your host. It is Roy, and today we're going to talk about what the British say versus what they actually mean. We're going to talk about that language that we sometimes use that has a very different meaning to the actual words we use. And joining me again is, of course, my dear friend Rob. Here he is. Hello, Rob. Welcome again.
Hello there, Roy. Hello, everybody. Nice to be back.
What we're talking about today is language that almost as a subtext, we understand as sort of native British speakers, we understand the meaning that might not be the same as what they're literally saying. When you leave a party, let's give an interesting example. When you leave a party, do you actually just say, right, I'm off, bye? What do you say?
I'm a bit politer than that. So I would obviously say, thank you. It's been a great evening. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you for inviting me. Goodbye. Even if I don't mean it.
Yeah, we just try to be polite on that one. We don't want to cause offense. It's not being fake. It's more about thinking about the other person's feelings. But
saying the right thing, I'd say it's about saying the right thing at the right time,
But one thing I noticed British people doing, do you do this? Before they leave, about a few minutes before, they kind of often slap their legs. They kind of put their hands on their legs. We kind of declare that we're leaving before we leave. We sort of make an announcement to everybody. We're like, right, I suppose I should be off then. I suppose it's probably time I should be making a move.
It's like a 5-minute warning, isn't it? Sort of, I'm preparing to leave, so get ready for my departure.
Yeah, get ready. Like a blast off of a rocket going into space. So what we're going to do is go down 10 that I've picked out of British things British people might say that mean something completely different. So the first one, if you invite me to something to go out in the evening and I say, I might join you later. Yeah, I might join you later. What does that mean? What would you interpret from that?
Probably that I'm not particularly interested and I probably won't join you at all. I'm not coming.
I think it's basically definitely I'm not coming. I think if I say, yeah, I might join you later, basically is a way of me saying I'm not coming. And you understand that.
We wouldn't say I'm not coming. That's just too rude for British people to say, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's that word might, which is kind of a modal verb, which means it's a slight possibility that I might join you later. But if you hear that, because obviously if I'm coming out, I go, yeah, absolutely, I'll be there. I give you a definite answer. But if it's sort of, I might join you later. Have you ever used this?
Many times, Roy. When you've invited me for drinks, I've often said, yeah, I might join you later. You basically, I'm being vague, aren't I? I'm being vague about my commitment. I'm being non-committal, basically.
Yeah, vague means not exact a bit. And non-committal means not committing to something. I agree. I think it's a good one. But number 2 that I picked out for you, if you have an accident, maybe you smash something of mine, maybe you smash my cup, my mug, and I say, oh, not to worry. That's quite especially like, and not to worry. Especially if I look a bit annoyed. What would you interpret from that?
It's the opposite, really, isn't it? It's kind of, I'm actually quite annoyed, quite angry, but I'm not going to show it. I'm always saying, oh, don't worry. If somebody spills something, oh, don't worry. I'll clean it up later. But really inside, I'm thinking, oh, you created extra work for me and I'm quite angry about it.
So you've got some chocolate, you've got a sweet tooth, and I eat your chocolate and you say not to worry. Should I be worried?
You should, because inside I am seething. He's eaten my chocolate.
Seething means this intense feeling of anger, like this burning anger. So yeah, we've had might join you later and not to worry, but this one is one of my favorite ones. And it's a bit wet out there. If we come in from, it's a bit wet out there. What would you get from that? If I say, oh gosh, weather today is a bit wet out there.
It's a bit wet. A bit wet is, we're saying the opposite, really. It's actually really wet out there. Yeah. We're being
raining very heavily.
Yeah, we're understating it, aren't we? Perhaps, I don't know why. Maybe we're trying to be polite about it, or we don't want to be seen to be exaggerating too much. But we say a bit when we mean a lot. Yeah.
I feel a bit ill. Basically means I'm really ill. A bit under the weather is obviously often quite seriously unwell. So we use this word bit to downplay. Downplay basically means less intense. And if I say, and it can go both ways. If I come in from the rain and I say, oh, a bit wet out there, you understand that it means it's raining, like torrential rain, heavy rain. And if I see you and you look soaking, you look soaked to the skin with rain, I might say, oh, bit wet out there, is it? Now,
the opposite. Yes, it's about the opposite. Yeah.
The next one I've got for you is if you go to your boss and you pitch them an idea and they say, oh, great, I'll bear it in mind. What would you get from that?
They're not interested. They're not interested. Bear it in mind. Yeah, is thinking about basically. I'm going to put it at the back of my mind, and not really think about it.
I think if I hear the words "I'll bear it in mind," it basically means that it's forgotten about. It's gone. They're never going to talk about it again. And because this is another thing again with that kind of I might join you later. People show interest. They demonstrate it. So if your boss was genuinely interested, they maybe say, "Oh yeah, really? Tell me more. Tell me more. What about what's going on here?" Like they go through a sort of list of things. If you just say, "Okay, I'll bear it in mind," it's not going to happen. Your holiday, you want a holiday? Yeah, well, I'll bear it in mind. Not getting that holiday.
I'm going to think about it. But they're trying to avoid being directly rude by saying no or it's terrible, aren't they? They're trying to be polite.
Yes. And I love that one. But the next one is a classic. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed, particularly if there we go. You've got it. So, Rob, I saw what you've written, and I'm honestly I'm a bit disappointed. What would you say here?
Well, it's a bit like the rain earlier. A bit, it's the opposite. It means a lot. I'm really disappointed. It's softening. What we say, softening the blow, isn't it? It's trying to make that bad news softer by saying a bit, but really you mean a lot.
If I say I'm a bit disappointed with your attitude, obviously I'm not. I think you're wonderful, Rob. But if I ever said I was a bit disappointed with what you did, maybe I'm furious, like really angry, and it's kind of a way to not lose your temper, to become aggressive and angry, but to get your point across. And that's something I would say. But next one is a classic one that I think confuses a lot of people. I had this issue with my father-in-law. Not bad. Oh, it's not bad. Not bad. What does not bad mean?
Not bad means it's okay. Actually,
good.
I'm doing okay. If I asked how you were and you said not bad,
not bad.
I would take that as I'm okay. Not brilliant, not terrible. I'm just okay. Nothing to complain about.
Oh, lovely use of language. So, not bad as well. It depends on the inflection of the voice. So it could be surprisingly good. Oof, this is not bad. It's not bad. This food is not bad. Surprisingly good. Or the other day, this happened with my father-in-law. My father-in-law, I needed to walk to pick up my car. My car was at a friend's house, and it was quite a long walk, but it was through the countryside. And he asked me, "How was the walk?" And I said, "Not bad." And he went, "No, it's a beautiful walk." And he understood the word bad. My father-in-law is Brazilian. I understood the word bad and thought I was being negative, but I was actually being really positive, going, "Oh, this is not bad." Yes. We use this a lot. How are you? Not bad. The food's not bad. And it does, like you say, if it's quite neutral, it means okay. But if it's quite an upwards inflection, it means surprisingly positive, I think.
Yeah, we never say it's brilliant, do we? We never sort of rave about things and say it's fantastic. Not bad is about as good as you can get, really, isn't it, in Britain?
Yeah. And potentially as well, if we do use that kind of exaggerated language, like, oh, marvelous, particularly if it's delivered like that, or oh, perfect. It's like the opposite again. So if I say, "Thanks for that, Rob, that's marvelous," like that means I'm really angry and it's really bad. Particularly delivered. A lot of it's on the delivery, the tone.
But it's also funny, conversely, that we never say we're terrible, unless it's somebody we're very close to. But generally, if somebody said to you, "How are you?" You've got a cold, got flu. You don't often say, "Oh, I'm terrible." You just go, "Yeah, not bad."
Bit under the weather. It's all like it's about sort of downplaying things. The next one I'm going to say is I'm in a bit of a pickle. Bit of a pickle. What does a bit of a pickle mean?
I'm in trouble. I'm in
I'm
trouble.
in massive trouble. So, we don't often use "I'm in a bit of a pickle." It's a bit of a pickle, bit of a sticky situation. These kind of terms. Again, it's that word "bit." Would you say if I said I'm in a bit of a pickle? What would you worry about me or would you not? Would you think, oh, okay,
Yeah, of course I'd worry. Yeah, it
yeah,
sounds quite serious, actually. Bit of a pickle. It could be anything from the fact, you drop something on the floor to the fact that your house has burnt down. You're still in a pickle. So I need to find out. I need more information really to find out what is the pickle.
yes, yeah, maybe I don't know. I've been kicked out my house and I'm living in the car. I'm in a bit of a pickle. Whereas, sometimes we exaggerate the other way. Oh, it's terrible at the moment. I couldn't get the milk I wanted from the shop. So if we use exaggerated language, it probably means it's less serious than kind of
Mm,
downplayed language.
mm.
We got it wrong way round. I think we are good at the wrong way around. The next one I'm going to say is if you make a point, you say something, and I go, okay, if you say so. If you say so, what does that mean?
I'm not going to argue with you. Basically, if you say so,
Yeah,
it's no point. There's no point trying to get you to change your mind. That's the way you think.
you're wrong. I'm right, but I can't be bothered. It's like,
Mm,
okay, if you say so, whatever.
yeah.
Very
End of
dismissive.
conversation. Yeah. End of conversation. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you say so. Okay, then let's move on. Next one, we're going to move on to you're brave. You're brave. Now, imagine that your boss is in a bad mood
Mm.
and you decide to ask for more money. And I say, Rob, you're brave if you want to speak to the boss today. What do you think I mean by you're brave?
You're taking a big risk
Yeah.
because it won't go well. So basically, avoid it because it could end in tears. It could be a disaster. The situation.
Do I think it's a good idea? Do I think it's a bad idea?
Bad idea. Bad
Yeah.
idea.
But you're brave probably translates more as like, I think your idea is stupid. Maybe wearing clothes that aren't, suitable for the weather. It's
Mm.
cold. It's a cold day, and you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I could go, "You're brave if you're wearing
Yeah.
that." I think
Yeah.
again, it's a bit silly, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
finally, this one is something British people say a lot, usually to kind of end the conversation. Oh, we must catch up sometime. We must catch up properly sometime. So maybe you bump into somebody in the street, and then it's sort of oh yeah, no, how you getting on? Well, I've got to go anyway, but we must catch up sometime. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Well, I say it's better than saying I don't want to see you again or I probably won't see you again. So it's a polite way of getting out of that situation and saying, yeah, I might see you in the future, but I'm not making any plans. I'm being, again, that word non-committal. I'm not going to make any commitment, but a polite way of rather than saying you're boring, goodbye, I'm not going to see you again. You just say, I'll catch up sometime.
So catch up basically means to sort of like reconnect with a friend, and sometimes it can be like, oh, we have the best of intentions. So I say, oh, we must catch up sometime.
Mm.
But I think that's a kind of throwaway phrase that we use to sort of say we're still friends, we're still cool, we're still okay, but at some point, yeah, maybe nice, but we're not. Like you say, we're not making any plans. If we actually wanted to see that person, what are you doing next week? What are you doing on Wednesday next week? Do you want to come to? We'd actually invite that person to somebody. So we must catch up sometime. Is a polite way of kind of saying, "Lovely to see you. It would be nice at some point, but
Yeah,
not
I'm
going to
not
make any plans
basically.
right now."
I'm not that desperate to speak to you again in the near future. So yeah, sometime in the future will be okay. It's not that I dislike you that much, but I'm not
I'm
desperate to
just,
see you again.
I'm, I'm going to get my phone because you sent me a message the other day saying we must catch it. No, you didn't. We must catch up sometime. Yeah, I think that's a lovely word. Like, I'm not desperate to see you, but it wouldn't be completely unpleasant to see you again.
Mm,
So it's not actually an invitation, is what we're actually
mm.
saying. It's the
And
same
it's
as
a good
these. Oh,
way. I say it's a kind of just a polite way to round off a conversation when you want to move on,
yeah.
you want to go, rather than just saying goodbye. You say must catch up sometime, but I've got to go now.
And there are so many more examples of British culture, that coded language. And if you want to learn even more about the way we actually speak and what we actually mean when we say these things, check out this video on YouTube. See you next time.